Hi, my name is Christine and this is Life Lessons. This is the second part of our series entitled Speak to be Memorable. Speak to be Memorable. I already did a first session. If you haven't seen that, look for it on this platform. You should be able to find it, and there is going to be a third session that's going to give the do's and don'ts of a memorable presentation. So at this point, I'm going to be talking about the how. The first presentation talked about why you want to become a memorable speaker. You can refer to that for the details on that. But today I want to talk about how to become a memorable speaker. I'm sure you have sat through thousands of presentations on camera, in live in person, audio. I'm sure you've listened to good and bad speakers throughout your life. But what makes a presentation memorable? That is what we're going to be discussing in the next few minutes. And the first thing you want to ask yourself is, what is unique about me? What is unique about me? We tend to remember those things that stand out, whether it be in the way you look, whether it be in the way you sound, whether it be in your jokes, in your humor, in your stories, whatever it is that is your style, you want to find something that is unique to you. The worst thing, and I did say we are going to the do's and don'ts, but let me already talk about this one. Don't copy another speaker. Don't try to speak like another speaker. Don't do what another speaker does, because that will not work with your personality. You want to find out what it is that is unique about you and hammer that, grow that, practice that, so that then you become a memorable speaker. I said this already and I'm going to repeat it because it bears repetition. A good speech is nothing other than a rehearsed performance. So how well will you do in your performance? You want to practice, 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 and then practice some more. So practice is one of the things, but let's go chronologically through some of my tips on how you can become a memorable speaker, because this presentation is about the how of becoming a memorable speaker. The first thing you want to do is prepare. If at all possible, visit the venue before. There's something about the place being familiar. Look around, visualize yourself already making the presentation, visualize the crowd in the room, whether it be a big crowd or a small crowd, so that as you go to sleep on it, as you go to prepare, as you rehearse, you can mentally place yourself in the place where the presentation is going to be taking place. So prepare by first of all going to the venue. Secondly, arrive way before time. Arrive way before time. Whenever I'm about to make a speech, especially an important speech, I want to be at the venue at least an hour before I have to get on stage. The worst thing you can do for yourself is to arrive 2 minutes before and you're flustered and you're sweaty and you can't find your notes and you can't find the mic and you're breathing. That hurts your presentation. That does so much harm to your train of thought. You can't even find your file, you shuffle your papers, all because you didn't arrive in time. Make sure that you arrive in time. Give yourself time to breathe in and out. Give yourself time to go in front of a mirror, look, be happy with how you look, and then go out to the stage. You are going to feel nervous. I can tell you that straight up. In fact, someone said to me earlier on when I was beginning my career, and I thought that was very useful. He said, if you ever get comfortable getting on stage, if you ever get comfortable being in front of a camera, you should get off camera. Your nervousness is what tells us that this is important to you. You being nervous, you losing your breath, you feeling all the butterflies in your stomach is what makes you know that this is an important presentation, that it's the respect you have for the audience, because you're not going to put up something mediocre. So deal with your nerves. There's a lot of ways in which you can deal with the nerves. Possibly that's the subject of another presentation, because I'm trying to keep this short. So you want to prepare as much as possible. You want to visit the venue before. You want to arrive way on time. You want to take great care of how you look. You want to look your best. Now, if you're wearing your favorite shoes, your favorite shirt, whatever it is, we are unlikely to know by looking at you, because we don't know your wardrobe. But when you are wearing your favorite shoes, there's a way you walk. There is a confidence to you. So put on something that is special to you. Like I said already, find what is unique about you. So put something that agrees with your style, that agrees with the audience, that respects the event that it is, but you want to feel good. You feeling good is a lot more important than you actually looking good. You could be wearing very expensive attire, but it's not working for you. It's not working with the audience. But when you feel that confidence that comes from knowing I'm wearing my best shoes, I'm wearing my best suit, there is a confidence that you're emitting, and the audience is going to be eating it all up. So make sure that you're dressed for the occasion. Again, what to wear when is a long story for another video, but you want to make sure that you're dressed appropriately for the event. Now, when you begin to make the presentation, you want to take deep breaths. You want to refer to your notes only minimally if you must. Do not read a speech. I've had occasion to attend presentations by people who I really respect, but I'm very disappointed because they stand in front of us and read the whole time. You could have sent us an email. You want to put your personality into it. You want to, remember we said you prepare. You already know the content. You already know the material. You can refer, you can just glance at your notes. You can have a little piece of paper. You can have talking points, that's allowed. But you can't stand in front of us and read word for word. And especially don't read a speech for the first time in front of the audience, in front of the camera, because it shines through. We can tell that this material is not familiar with you. We can tell it's not your own, and that usually speaks disrespect from the point of view of the people who are listening to you. So you want to have prepared, you want to be able to present. Should you forget your notes, I actually had an incident, and if you've been following me at all, I give this story pretty often. I needed to give a presentation at one point that was pretty important to me, and therefore I prepared, and on the day of the event I said to myself, you know what, let me print my speech so that I'll just go to the stage with a paper. So I printed my entire speaking, the talking points and speech and everything, and I printed it and put it there. And then I said to myself, let me have a soft copy of it. So I saved it into a flash drive. Then I said, that might not work. Let me carry the laptop. None of that was important because I had actually memorized the speech. I knew it off head. You want to have a backup of the backup. You want to make sure you are so ready that nothing will phase you. Should the lights go off during your presentation, you can still be able to give it off head. Should your laptop, should your tablet, whatever it is that you're using not work, you still have the presentation. That is all a function of your presentation. Now, when you do begin to give your speech, when you do begin to give your presentation, you want to be relevant. You want to be relevant in your jokes, in your examples, in your context. You want to be relevant to the subject, to the content that you want to pass on, and also to the audience for which you're doing it. If I was giving this speech to people in lower primary school, I would give it differently. I'm giving it to professionals, and so I'm speaking to people who can relate to me on a professional level. So you want your content to be relevant in that way. You want to use humor. If I gave a presentation for half an hour and nobody laughed, I would be very disappointed in myself. But when you do begin to choose your jokes, there is those jokes that are suitable for a particular audience. So you want to pick the jokes. You also want to use stories. There is nothing more powerful than a story. But when you do give a story, when you want to give an example, an analogy, you want to use the story to make you relatable to the audience. The purpose of a story is to make you relatable to the audience. Don't give us stories that make you look like, remember, whenever you're giving a presentation, and I'm going to go into a lot more detail of this in the third video, but whenever you're giving a presentation, you're in front of the audience. There's 100, 1,000, 1,000,000 people in front of you, whatever the number is, it doesn't matter. But there's one of you this side, and the rest of the audience is on the other side. There's a reason you already feel removed from them. Now, more often than not, you're even standing on a raised platform. So you're already on a pedestal. The use of a story is to make you relatable to the audience. Don't come up as being this high and mighty who is talking down at the people that you're speaking to. You're using your story to make them feel like she's one of us, he's one of us. So whenever you use stories, you want to pick these stories that are relevant to the content that you want to give. And one final tip, don't speak for too long. Don't speak for too long. A lot of times, and I'm sure you have seen this happen, it happens all the time, someone will be on stage and then a note will be sent to them. we all know what is on that note. It's saying, hello, you've been talking for too long. So as to avoid people getting tired, so as to avoid you losing the audience attention, you want to just keep it short. You want to stand up, you want to say it, and you want to sit down. So keep it short, keep it bite-sized, make sure people can assimilate what you're saying, use language that is relatable, use language that people can relate with, and that way you're going to be communicating. There's going to be a third part of this series where I'm going to give the do's and don'ts of a memorable presentation. I hope that this is useful to you. If it is, please let me know that it is. My email is going to be whatever platform you're watching this on, my information is around, so you can be able to get in touch with me. We do have an entire program where we teach you the theory, because all of this cannot be done in a few minutes. We do teach you how to make a presentation. We get you to practice on how to make a presentation, so that all is part of our public speaking program. But let's see you in the next video. My name is Christine. I'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.